All right, we'll just wait a couple more minutes for some people to join us. But hi, everybody. Hi. My name's Kasia. I'm from the Niagara-on-the-Lake Public Library, and we're going to be making this painting today. Yeah. So we're just going to wait a couple more minutes. I just wanted to get on here to see who's coming and make sure that everything is going to look good on my end, because this is my very first live stream as well. But yeah, if you're excited to be doing some painting, send me a wave or a smiley face or something. I'm excited. I haven't painted in a while, and we were really looking forward to doing this project at the library, and because it was canceled, I figured, you know what, let's still do it. So it should be good. So we still have about 2 more minutes, and if you're already logged on and live with me, make sure you have the supplies you need. Whoops, that's what's gonna happen. Also, just a few little housekeeping things. Much like many of you are stuck at home, I'm home with my kids and my 2 dogs. So if there are interruptions, which there will probably be, that is what it's going to be like today. So I have 2 dogs. Their names are Finn and Evie, and they're sitting waiting for cookies right here beside me. I can show you guys later. And my 2 boys are busy having their Xbox and Switch time right now. So they shouldn't interrupt, but if they do, no big deal. Okay, so we'll just wait another minute or so, but make sure that you have your materials. So that means you have a surface that you painted white, or if you have a piece of cardstock or something that's heavier than copy paper, you want to make sure you have your brushes or brush. If you only have one, that's okay. You want to make sure you have your cloth, your paper towel for blotting your brush, as well as tape. So I have 3 different kinds of tape here. Scotch tape we actually didn't have any of, so I have masking tape and painter's tape. You want to make sure you have your water for washing your brush, and your colors of paint. Oh, actually I forgot to put white. So I'm going to put a little bit of white, because those are the main colors we're going to be using today. So black, white, and your color. So I have blue, just the same that I've done my demo in. You don't have to use blue. I'm actually excited to see what other colors of background we're going to have today. I brought some purple as well. But I think I'm just going to go with the blue. Oh, and make sure one of the most important things in order to make your birch tree look like a birch tree is to have your card, whether it's from an old store you don't go to anymore or a piece of cardboard. Just make sure you're going to be okay with it getting messy, because that's what it looks like when it's done. So that's a nice clean one. If you want to reach me, that's where you can do that. This is what it's going to look like after. Okay, so let's wait a couple more minutes. So hope everyone's doing good at home. It's tricky being home for this much time, and we'll see, but we can make the best of it. Even though it's gloomy today, it's the best kind of days for painting, I find, because you're ready to be home, you're ready to do something to get involved, to get immersed and absorbed into, and painting is one of those things for me. Awesome. Okay. So I think we ran through materials. Yeah, I was going to say hi to everybody. So, hi everybody. Hope you're doing well. So I'll just readjust the camera. And, oh, the other thing I was going to mention is if for some reason the connection drops, don't worry, I will be right back. I'll just have to get back online. I'm not sure why it would do that, but just in case it does, I'm not going to desert you and leave you with an unfinished painting. We will work through this and we'll get it done. I'll be back. Also, you have water to wash your brush in right here. I also have my own water. One little trick I thought I'd share with you. Very often when I'm going to wash my brush, I do it in my drinking water or my coffee. To make sure that I don't do that, I always put a lemon in. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but that's a good little kind of trick. Okay, so let's turn that on. And we can get started very shortly. Okay. All right. So welcome everyone again. I think everyone's logged in at this point. If you're not, no problem. If you missed the beginning of this, we're going to be putting this up on our website afterwards. So don't worry if you miss something or if I'm moving too fast. If you just feel like watching someone paint today, that's a good thing to do too. But yes, if you miss something, we will be uploading this on the website and on our YouTube page and hopefully to Facebook as well. So we're going to be making a birch tree forest today using all the materials you have here. Now, the very first decision you have to make is whether you want to make your birch trees longer like this. So this is portrait, or whether you want to make them in a landscape format. So you can get more birch trees this way, but they're shorter. So it's up to you. I tend to like doing them this way, and that's what I'm going to do for the demo because I have more space this way to work. So what we're going to do first is get your tape. So everyone grab your tape, whatever tape you have, and you're going to take a piece of tape that is, you're going to measure it really quickly. Take a piece of tape that's around the same size as your canvas and rip it just like that. So you're going to have your piece of tape. Okay. Now remember I asked you to bring that cloth. It's not for wiping your brushes off. It's actually for getting some of the sticky off of the back of the tape. Because if we put the tape right on the paper and we rub it down like we need to, it's actually going to pull off some of the paper, which can actually work for this painting because we want lots of texture. But what we're going to do instead is put that piece of paper on the cloth, peel it up. You can even do that twice. And this works if you have scotch tape or masking tape. Then you can move the cloth out of the way and you're going to put it somewhere on your paper. So you can make all your trees straight up and down like this, but trees don't normally grow perfectly straight, right? Nothing is really perfectly straight. So I'm going to make my tree kind of grow on an angle, just like that. Okay? So if you look at this one, when I made it, this is pretty thick. See, it's only about half the size right there. So if I wanted to make a wider tree trunk, I'm going to take another piece, measure it, rip it off. Then I'm going to put it on my cloth like this, maybe twice, just like that. And if I want to make a bigger tree trunk, I have to make sure the middle of the tape is overlapping. So see how there's a little tiny bit of overlapping there? So that's going to be my first tree trunk, just like that. Okay? So that's the first step. You're going to do this a few times to make a couple trees. So go ahead and do that step. And I'll be here waiting for you to finish that before I go on to the next part. So I'm going to do another tree that goes like this. And you know what? I'm going to leave that one just like that. It's going to be a narrower tree. It's not going to be a really wide one. Oh dear. No big deal, as I've always said, especially with art. Tricky tape. Okay. So here is my next one. Just like that. I'm going to kind of make it lean into that tree. Just like that. Okay. Like so. So I have 3 trees. I kind of like that today. Okay, so you're going to make your trees just like that. So each of these, wherever the tape is actually going to be a tree. This stuff in between is going to become your background, just like this. So that's where the blue comes in. I'm going to hold this a little bit closer. I'm not sure if you could see in the pictures I posted before, but this background has tones of gray in it. So yes, it's mostly blue, but if you look here, can you see there's little bits of gray? That is the awesome stuff you can do with your painting to make it look even cooler. Adding tones and textures and different layers of color. So once you have your trees down, what you're going to do is start painting your background. So take a little bit of water on your brush, dab it just a little bit. Take the color you're going to start with and move it to a new spot and add a little bit of white and mix it together to make a slightly lighter version of that. So if you like the light blue I have, see that new color that we've made? You can go ahead and make it. So scoop some blue, scoop a little bit of white, mix it together. With this extra stuff on your brush, move it to a new spot, take a teeny little bit of black. Can you see how little bit of black that is? I don't know if it's focusing. I hope it is. And mix that in, and you'll make like a bluey gray, which I think is really pretty. And you know what? If it's too gray, take a little bit more blue and mix it in. So I've got 2 tones for my background. And this is where it starts to get fun, because all you have to do is paint in the background. And every once in a while, you can take a little bit of white and kind of blend that in, just like so. Or you can take a little bit of black if you're feeling brave. Oh, see? But look, if we blend it out, it does not look so cool. It's very moody. It's like the weather today. Just like so. Okay, so keep working on your background. Like so. Oh, I know the dogs are playing. Of course they are. So yes, there's those interruptions that I thought would probably happen. Oh, also, can you see why I said to work on a protected surface or something that you don't mind getting messy? This is my art table. Actually, my dad brought it over for me a couple days ago. And yeah, I'm okay with getting paint on it. Actually, after a while, it's gonna look really cool. Oh, can everyone hear the dogs? Yeah, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go tell them to be quiet. Keep painting, everyone. Okay, sorry about that. So keep painting your background, covering all the spaces in between. So I'm using, if you have 2 brushes, I'm using my medium brush for this. I have a small one, but I'm gonna try to do this whole painting in just one brush, because I know some of you might only have one brush, and that's all right. See how I'm kind of mixing all the different colors in my background? That's good. We want it to look interesting. There's nothing worse than boring art. Oh, I haven't used my blue-gray a lot, just like so. I'm gonna add a little bit of white, just like so, mix it in. Turn it down, please. Sorry. That's Sam. He's playing on the Xbox. He loves Thomas. And I think that's an oops, but it's playing. Some of the games he plays have sound, some of them don't. And of course that one does have sound. Thanks, dude. Okay. So paint that whole thing in. Oh, also, the cool thing about adding really kind of like thick layers and mixing the colors in on your painting is something called juxtaposition. So right now, those lines that we've made with the tape are going to be really, really clean lines. So when we take the tape off, we're going to have these nice, crisp, clean lines, which actually look really cute, really nice, next to the kind of messy background that we're making, or messier background. Just like so. Okay. All right. So when you're done that step, you can wash your brush, scrub it really good on the bottom of your jar, and dab it on your paper towel. Perfect. Okay. So we're gonna let it dry for just a second. I don't want to move too fast in case you guys are still painting, but I'm just picking up my paper and moving it just a little bit like this. And I'm gonna have a drink of water. Okay. Now, if you're painting, pause for a second. But I guess you can look up from what you're doing. This is one of my favorite parts of the whole project. We get to remove the tape off. Okay, so you're gonna start from the bottom. You can start from the top too. I find the bottom works better for me. And start very carefully pulling the tape up. Now see how I'm holding with my other hand here? Hopefully you can see that. Yep. Start pulling it very carefully. Don't rip it away, because then you'll probably rip the paper. Just like that. And look, crisp, clean line. Doesn't it look so cool? I think it's magic. Art is magic to me. I love art. Oh, see, I'm getting a little bit, I'm not sure if you can see that. I'm getting a little bit of a pull apart or pull away there. No big deal. But if you're like me and you blotted your tape on the towel a little bit extra, that's why we do that, so it doesn't stick. Okay. Oh, also pull apart, no problem. We're adding texture, that's good. Ta-da! So there is the beginning of our birch trees. So hopefully everyone's doing good so far. If you're doing all right, maybe give me a smiley face or a wave or something, just so I know that we're all doing all right with the project so far. Again, if I'm moving a little bit too fast for you, or you just got busy watching instead of doing, that's okay. We're gonna repost these so that you will be able to watch them and pause them if you need, and record them and share them with people, all that kind of stuff. Oh, thank you. I see some smiley faces and thumbs up. Yay, thanks. Awesome. Okay, so we have our background. We have our birch trees. Next, we're going to start to do some of the details that make it look like a birch tree, and not just like the white lines on a piece of paper, although they're pretty. I like them. Okay. So I'm going to put this here just for our reference. Reference is when something's there just so we know what we're going for. You can move your tape out of the way if it's still in your way. Mine was in my way. You can move your cloth out of the way. We're not going to use that. What you do need to have, though, are your brushes. So I'm going to use the little one for this one. If you have a big one, you can. No big deal. And you're going to use your card. So whatever card you have. So I'm going to use, you know what? Let's go with my nice one today. No, let's use my messy one. Yeah, tried and true. Okay. So hopefully everyone can see this. I'm going to start right here. Actually, I'm going to start right up here. And I'll show you the technique. And it's basically doing the same thing over and over again. When you're doing this, you don't want to do it and then wait and then finish. You want to put the paint down and then do the technique. Okay? So this is what it is. Get a little bit of water on your brush, dab it on the paper towel, get a little bit of black paint. Frankie's hungry, if anyone heard that. Get a little bit of black paint, dab, 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 dab. I did 5. Put your card down and pull it across. Cool, right? Magical. Okay, so one more time. I'm just going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to space them out differently. Right away, pull it across. I can also go on this side and put like a little blob and pull it across. You don't want too much paint, because if you get too much paint, it's going to be a big blobby. Oh, and sometimes, see, I'm running out of paint and it doesn't go very far. All you have to do is put more down, go back, and pull it again. Ooh, that's a good example. Lots of paint makes a really big smudge. Little bits of paint, just like this, will make a tiny little smudge. And that's okay. Just like so. Sam, can you go tell Frankie that there's snacks in the kitchen for him, please? Because I am busy painting. Thanks, dude. Pull just like that. Now, another thing you want to be able to do, or it's up to you actually, sometimes they look really cool. See that little tiny space between the black and the edge of the birch tree? That can work, but I tend to like it if the black, or the next color we're gonna do, goes off the side of the tree, just like that. If you've ever seen a birch tree before, you know that the stuff that we're doing right now is kind of like papery in texture. Birch tree is kind of like a wrapped in paper. It's actually part of the bark of a birch tree, and that tends to go off the side of a tree, kind of like that. Okay, so does everyone get the technique? Know how to do it? So it's all about timing. You want to go quicker and pull across. Oh, see, probably put a little bit too much there. No big deal. Pull across. And also, does yours have to look exactly like mine? Nope, not at all. If you have a better way of doing this, please do it. If it's something that you feel more confident doing, please do it. Also, when I teach classes, ooh, that one went right off. That's like a crazy little birch tree bark thing. When I do classes, my aim is for you guys to be able to do this again later. So even if you sit back and watch this first time, that's great. But they're really easy steps, and I want to break them down for you so that you know that you can do it, right? Also, if you're working on this and it's already become a big, crazy mess, guess what? We can always make another one. That's the cool thing about art. We can try and try again. I always say to my students when they ask me why or how I know how to do things, it's because I practice and I practice and I practice. And trust me when I say, not everything I make has turned out. There's some stuff that I'm just like, wah, I don't like this. But that's okay, that's part of learning, right? So I'm gonna do my other side here. And I think, oh, that was a big one. That's okay, I kind of like it, especially at the top. Like that. That's a really thick spot up there. Now see how I'm switching sides every once in a while? Ooh, you know what? Look, my paint is getting a little bit watery. So if that's the case, even though, oh yeah, did you see that? Even though you have paint on your brush, you can use your paper towel. Also, isn't it very like satisfying to pull the paint across, and that sound is like you're sweeping paint? I love it. Okay, so I'm almost done. My birch trees here. Look it, I'm just getting these big crazy ones. That's just how they want to go today. No problem. I'll let it work. I'll be very Bob Ross about it and let it be. That's what it wants to be. Okay. Yep, that's exactly what it wants to do today. Okay. Yeah, we'll do one more down here too. Perfect. Okay, so first step, now take a look at your hands. If they're starting to look like this, that's awesome. It means you're an artist now. Those are artist hands. Yay. So when you're done with your black, you can wash your brush, blot it off here. Try to not, if you did what I did and made a black spot on your paper towel, try not to blot it there because it'll just get all messy again. So that's step one. Okay, so we've had the black. It actually looks pretty good just like this, right? If you like it like this and you want to just play with black today, you can totally do that. If you want to do the next step with me, can anyone guess in the comments what the next color we're going to do is while we're waiting for some people to catch up? What do you think the next layer is going to be? If you don't know, that's okay. I'll tell you in about 30 seconds. But if anyone wants to take a guess, I will take a look if I can see it on the screen. Yeah, gray. Thanks, Kayla. Yep, it's going to be gray. So in order to make gray, oh, I jumped ahead a step. Wait, need to wash my brush so we're all on the same page. In order to make gray, we need to mix together some white and some black. Now, when I'm teaching classes and I say to make a color, what some people do is take all of their one color and mix it in with all of their other color, and then it gets to a color that they don't like, and then they have to add more, and it's still not enough, and they have to add more, and then it just becomes a big mess. So let me show you a trick to make a smaller version of that color, a smaller amount of that color, which you can always change easier. Okay, so you take some white, move it to a new spot, and see how I kind of twirled my brush? If you have a round brush, you can do that. If you have a flat brush, you can go like this and kind of twist it. So move your white to a new spot. Now, which color is stronger, white or black? It's usually black. So when you take black, take just a little tiny bit at a time. Can you guys see that? A little tiny bit. Hopefully it's focusing. Yep, a little tiny bit, and start to mix it into that new bit of gray. Or a new bit of white, to make gray. Ta-da, make gray. Now I like this gray. It's nice and light. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna take a little bit more white, mix it in, make it even a little bit lighter. If you want it darker, you can. Actually, let me show you. I have two different kinds of gray. I'm just gonna wash my brush in between everyone. Doesn't mean you have to. So if you look at this one, this is a pretty light gray, kind of like what I have right now. This is pretty similar. The one that I made that is horizontal, see how the gray is much darker? It's almost like a black gray. So it's up to you what kind of look you want. Move those back. So make your gray. and then dab your brush, get a little bit of water, get some of it on your brush, and then we're gonna be doing the exact same step. So I'm gonna start right here, and it's okay if it overlaps. So I'm gonna put a couple dots, just like that. Oh, they actually worked right in between each other, and you're gonna pull them like that. So same thing. I'm gonna put some gray where there is nothing and pull it across. And then put some here. If I lost that little bit, no big deal. If it's not going far enough, like if they're drying up too fast, because I'm working on watercolor paper, you can add a little bit more of water to it, just a tiny bit. Too much will make it too watery. And that's okay if it is, because we can always make it work. Ooh, that one is a lot. That's okay. No big deal. Ooh, I like that. See how that matched? That's one of those things that, like, yeah, I meant to do it, except it was all the art's doing. Okay, actually that was like really black. I'm gonna add a little bit here. Now my gray is drying up a lot. Another thing you can do too is just do these tiny little dots of color. Get lots on your brush and just do like a tiny little puddle and pull it across. Ooh, and see what's getting see-through too? That's really nice. Just like that. Okay, so you're going to do that across your other trees as well. I'm gonna put some here and pull it across. Oh, I had a little bit too much water, but I kind of actually like that. Oh, that one's another crazy one. Yep, this one is just crazy little birch tree. Now, if I'm doing this really fast, don't worry if you're not doing it this fast. That's quite all right. And like I said, we're gonna be posting these again. So in case I am going too fast and you miss something, they will be available later on so you can do it again. All right. So I'm almost working my way down this tree. I tried that. Did everyone see? I know you're probably working on yours. But instead of doing it right at the edge of the tree, I actually went in the middle a little bit. Kind of made like a cool effect. See, you're learning new stuff all the time when you're doing art. There's not just one way to do stuff. Do things, especially with paint. There's always new ways to try. I'll do one more here. Okay, so there's my gray. So when you're done your gray layer, you're able to wash your brush, let it sit for a minute, and I'll just let everyone catch up for a moment. How's it going? Everyone doing okay? I hope so. I'm excited to see these. So when we are done, you should all be super proud of what you're making already. But I would love to see some of the pictures posted on our Facebook page. I'll be doing a follow-up post about this with the posting. So if you, with the video on it, so if you want to post your examples, I would love to see them. That'd be awesome. Okay, so we have black, we have gray. We have one more step. It's up to you if you want to do it, much like all the steps. But what we can add, if you find that some of your spots are a little bit dark and you lost too much of the white, what we can do is the exact same step, but adding in a little bit of white. Now see how I wet my brush and I mixed it in with a little bit of white just like that? This will actually make the paint more transparent, which means it's gonna make the paint a little bit more see-through. So watch this. So I think here is a little bit dark. So there's too much black and too much gray. So I'm gonna do a few of these little puddles, use my card and pull it over. So it's not quite white, but it does lighten it up a little bit. It's like a different gray, a different shade of gray, just like that. I'm not gonna do this everywhere because I kind of like the balance that I have right now. Maybe here a few. like so. And then we're gonna do a couple here, and maybe 1 or 2 there. That one is just, this little birch tree just has lots of wispy bark. Oh, I kind of like that. Have it lighten that part up there. Ooh, that was a big one. Oh, I like it. Okay, so I'm just gonna do a couple more of these, and then we're gonna go on to the last step of everything. Last step of this painting. Look at what we made, everyone, half an hour. Awesome. So, wash your brush, dry it off, and I'm just gonna give everyone that's doing the white a couple seconds. But does anyone who is done want to tell me what they think the next step would be? What's missing from this painting? It's kind of missing from outside today, although there was some on the ground. But does anyone know what's missing from here? White fluffy stuff. Hopefully we don't see too much more of it. Yay, snow. Thanks, Kayla. Oh, stars. Oh, you know what? They could be, yeah, splatter too. Okay, they could be all those things. They could be stars. Ooh, I really love the idea of stars. Okay, snow or stars. So, yes, we have to make snow or stars. So, to do that, you're gonna take some water. Yes, your water will be gray at this point. That's okay. So what we're gonna do is dip your brush and make a little puddle. Oops, I almost put black in that. We might have gray snow. So a little bit of water. Then take a scoop of your white and mix it in. I'm running out of space on my palette here. You can even take a little bit more. What you want is this like soupy, oh, it looks like I have a French manicure. You want like a soupy kind of syrupy paint like this. So you don't want it too thick like that. You don't want it super watery like the stuff we made earlier. You want it kind of in between. So see how it kind of moves around? Like if I push it hard enough, you can see through and then it covers back. That's what we're looking for. Okay, this is where it can get messy. And this is where I said, remember in the materials list, dress for mess, because this can get messy, but it's really fun and it's awesome looking. So I'm gonna move my card over here. So you have your brush covered in this like drippy white paint. If you pick up your brush and it drips off, like see how mine, it's not really drippy, it means it's too thin. So if it's dripping off your brush when you pick it up, you need to add more paint. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your artistic index finger, which means your index finger covered in paint. You're going to put your brush over top like this, and you're going to lightly flick the brush just like that. Isn't that cool? I love this step. It's so pretty. Now, some of you who know me from before might think you do this. Don't do that. It's a little tiny picture. You're gonna get this big glob of snow, okay? Use your finger and do lots of little, like I guess like flicks of snow or stars. Ooh, I like that stars thing. It'd be really cool to do a star painting. Oh, guess what? I also just put some splatters on my wall. Yeah, but that's okay because it's kind of an art room, kind of. So we made the birch trees. We put the details on. We did the background. We put the snow on. We are done, everyone. Amazing. How did they turn out? I'm excited to see. Yes, I'm really excited to see what you guys made today. So thanks for joining us. This was actually our very first live stream painting video. We're hopefully going to be doing more of them in the next coming weeks. I'm always up for suggestions of topics you want to cover or things you want to paint. I have a couple in mind, and actually for all the people that are signed in right now, I can do a little sneak peek and I can set up a poll or a vote to see which one you'd like to do. So if you have suggestions or I'd love any feedback, you can email me at kdupuis@notlpl.org. That's my card. And yes, I would love to hear what you thought. I'd love to hear what you'd like to paint. But as for a sneak peek, these are two that I'm thinking about doing. it's clear here. Okay, actually, you know what? I'll do it this way. So the two options that I've had planned are the spring ladybugs, like that. That one's really fun and really easy. Don't let the simple shapes make you think it's like too childish. This is a very cool painting in person. I don't know how it's looking on the camera. And then the other one I was thinking about doing is a spring robin, because I don't know about you guys, but there are tons of robins around my neighborhood everywhere. So it'd be a robin with a blue background and some spring cherry blossoms and stuff. So those two are possibly up, well, they are probably upcoming. I'd love to hear with your vote which one you'd like to do first. Yeah. Okay, so I'll post that later today. But yes, thank you everyone for coming. I hope you had fun, and stay tuned for the video to be posted on our social media site, on our Facebook page, on the library's Facebook page, and on our website as well. Okay, have a wonderful afternoon, everyone, and we'll see you later.